Aquarius, and welcome to your July 2018 general reading. I hope this finds you well. So let's see what's going on for you, Aquarius. Just give me a minute to look at the cards. It's a little bit, the initial message that I get here, Aquarius, is about new beginnings, and new beginnings that are causing you some anxiety and some fear. Okay, you enter July with two cards. You got the Fool in reverse and the Nine of Discs. So the Nine of Discs is traditionally the card called Alone and Loving It. This is about male or female, someone who's quite peaceful in their own company. It's number 9. It's like the Hermit, and you've worked hard, Aquarius, to build your internal well-being. The Fool in reverse means there might be a sense of so the Fool upright is about new beginnings, excitement as you walk down new life paths. Okay, very much the free spirit, not carrying any loads. He's truly that zero, that true free spirit. But as it comes in reverse, there's a feeling, Aquarius, that maybe there's a little bit of fear or a little bit of old shadow material coming up. So old shadow material would just be lack of self-esteem, old fears that are coming up in order to be cleared. Okay, now I'm particularly picking this up around your emotional life and maybe around a new relationship potential. What you most want is 9 of Cups. So another 9. So the 9s are quite solitary energy, but this card is about the heart chakra. It's about sharing. It's the wish fulfilling card. So what you most want is a sense of emotional well-being, a feeling that your wishes can come true, that there's a lot of new fruit and a lot of new prospects for you. Your challenge though, not your challenge, what your protector energy is. So what's supporting you in getting what you want is the 9 of Swords, which is very interesting, paired with the Ace of Cups. So the Ace of Cups is about a brand new emotional start. This is the card of love, new chapters, which is helping you get this wish fulfillment. But you have this fear attached to it. This is fear, this is anxiety. It's that sort of stress level that keeps you awake at night. And it's almost saying that there's fear around a new emotional chapter, because your challenge is the Page of Cups. So the Page of Cups is a bit like the Ace. It's about a love relationship, tends to represent a new love, the early stages, sort of infatuation and a crush, but there's an awful lot of anxiety around this 9 of Swords. I'm going to clarify it actually, but when we have the 9 of Swords around your emotions, there's almost that fear that we're going to be hurt again, or the person will betray us, will reject us. And it's with the Knight of Pentacles. So for some of you, it's an earth sign person, or for some of you, the fear is that it's happening so slowly that it's not going to turn into what you want it to be. It's very interesting, Aquarius, because I've been having the same messages for months now. Not only for you, but for quite a lot of the signs. This Knight of Pentacles is appearing a lot. He tends to approach love in a very deeply cautious way. And I'm not sure if this is why there's so much anxiety for you. I'll clarify this in a little minute. Just let me, but there's definitely an emotional new beginning, and with this beginning is coming fear. And I asked why we had this fear, and it's the Six of Pentacles. So the Six of Pentacles, all the earth elements represent to me authenticity. The Six of Discs is representing some sort of conversation that's either happening or needs to happen. And it's definitely around your emotions, Aquarius, with the Ace and the Page of Cups. This is not an emotional thing to do with love. It's maybe to do with work, but it's about work that you're really engaged in. It's engaging your emotions. It's a new creative project. But with it is coming an awful lot of fear and an awful lot of anxiety. And the answer to the Nine of Swords is the Ten of Swords, by the way. It's about reaching out, going to your edge, and attempting to instigate a conversation with someone. And the Knight of Pentacles, so it might be an earth sign person, or the issue might be about how long it's taking something to happen. It's going to be different for different people. But in your relationship house, you do have the Eight of Wands, so an awful lot of activity around you with the Ten of Cups. So the Ten of Cups is, you know, it's that final conclusion of an emotional chapter. You've got the Nine, you've got the Ten of Cups, the Ace of Cups, and the Page. So this is a huge emotional month for you, but it's a lot of fear attached to it. The Eight of Wands is a very expansive energy. It's a lot of communication, a lot of activity going around for you. If there's not, it's about setting intentions, setting direction, setting goals about the way forward. Because what I find with this Eight of Wands is the energy always comes back to you. But it's about knowing what you want and going after it. And I'm wondering if some of the issues for Aquarius is you don't quite know what you want emotionally. Maybe there's a sense of there's too much imbalance, there's been too much hurt caused, you're not good enough. I'm not sure why. Actually, I sort of do know why, but there's a sense of something being out of balance here in your emotional world. Even though you've got the 9, the 10, and the Ace and the Page, something's not quite, people aren't saying something. There's not authentic dialogue taking place, Aquarius, which is meaning that 9 of Swords is staying in place, okay? Around money and work, some of you are going to be learning a new skill. I'm an Aquarius. I'm going to do a new course in massage. So Page of Pentacles are things like massage, learning new skills, learning new trades. Pages are all about that seed, new growth, okay? It's with the Queen of Swords. So we've got our own card in the money and work. There might be a need to be a little bit detached at work, to be very professional, have good clear-cut boundaries. Or you might just be learning new skills, breaking new ground, that sort of energy. It's really interesting, Aquarius, because I can definitely see new growth in your financial sector and new opportunities at work, but it's definitely an emotional themed month for you, okay? Now, the really good news, at the level of your spirituality, you've got the star cards. We have our own card. As you know, this is a card of grace, of faith, of allowing yourself to be seen because she's naked, she's risking vulnerability, but it's also the healing card. And this is what we really need to work on, is this 9 of Swords, this feeling of not being good enough. I think some of you are way out your comfort zone. But the star card is the best omen that the waters are clearing, that a new beginning wants to happen. You've been asked to have faith. I think a lot of you have been asked to take some risks, to allow love, to allow new potentials to come forward. Very exciting month here, Aquarius. Your outcome is the Ten of Swords for the Temperance. So the way out the Nine of Swords, anxiety, is action, basically. It's taking a risk so we get out of this trap that our mind has set for us. And the only way out the 9 is the 10. That's exactly the way the tarot works. Then it's followed by Temperance, okay? So Temperance is about emotional balance, being at peace, your mind and heart moving in the same direction. It's about trusting your intuition, trusting your guts. But I'm going to clarify this 10 of Swords. So Aquarius, if you take an action, which is the only way out of the 9 of Swords, is to take a leap of faith, okay? It leads to the 6 of Cups and the 3 of Cups. More emotional joy, more emotional celebration, but it's going to come from taking a risk. Maybe you're going to have to reveal how you feel towards someone. I think there's a dialogue that needs to happen here. But this is what's going to lead to the Temperance card, emotional sharing, emotional abundance, because we get to the 3 of Cups by releasing the things that were once holding us back. And what's holding you back, Aquarius, is all these 9 swords. I'm not good enough, I'm not this enough, I'll be rejected. There seems to be something is not being said, and some communication is not being had with someone. The only person who's appeared is the Knight of Pentacles. The pages are more about new beginnings, new potentials, but there's an earth sign, and it's maybe this earth sign where there's a dialogue that needs to happen. But the tarot all move in a sequence, and the way out the 8 and the 9 of Swords is always to risk an action. And that's what the 10 of Swords means. I would rather do this than to stay in this awful fear and this awful anxiety, but it's leading to the best possible place. This is also my soulmate card, 6 of Cups, because a soulmate reflects our emotional world, that sense of joy, that sense of sharing. And we get to the 3 of Cups when we release what was once holding us back. And this is why you get to Temperance, when your mind and heart come into union, when we start to follow our intuition. I call it spiritualizing your emotions, which simply means trusting your guts, trusting who you are, and trusting your guidance. Really interesting month. It's all about your emotional world, even though there is new potentials in work and money. The Star card is a great omen. When someone's been ill, or a situation's not been that great, it's the Star card that I always look for, because it brings healing, it brings that state of grace, and it brings us change. But there's definitely a call, maybe for you and another person, to reveal your emotions, to reveal what's going on, so you can move out of this hell of the 9 of Swords. But your relationship life is great. A lot of activity, a lot of joy. The rainbow comes after the storm, Aquarius. And you're getting the rainbow this month. But with it is definitely coming some fear. The trick to fear. What's that old book? Feel the fear and do it anyhow. That's how I read the 10 of Swords. Okay, Aquarius? Look up for my weekly or my mid-monthly updates, okay? Loads of love. Bye.